Hello, I'm Miranda Carney, and I'm the editor-in-chief of Ball Bearings magazine. This semester, we are taking a closer look at Millennials, the generation emerging as the largest in America. As we prepare for our print issue to come out, we continue to take a closer look at different subjects on the web every 2 weeks. This week, we look at Millennials and the way they are redefining relationships and love. I'm here with staff writer Samantha Stevenson, the writer of this week's reported story. Samantha, can you tell me a little bit more about the story you worked on and what you've learned about Millennials and love?
Yes, when I was writing this story, I reached out to individuals in our generation that have dealt with past generations not necessarily being as accepting of who are they dating because they were once seen as taboo relationships. The first woman I spoke to is dating a black male, and her parents were completely okay with her going on a date until they saw him and actually saw the color of his skin. And it's just shocking to us that these kind of ideas still exist in our society because we as a generation think they're gone, but they're not. And the other focus of my piece is a gay man and his journey as a gay man when he came out to his parents and just he felt that disconnection because they could no longer relate to him. He doesn't have a lifestyle or a love life that they can talk to him about, they feel like.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of this idea that they've dealt with the backlash of these older generations.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's definitely a shift between older generations and the millennial generation when it comes to relationships. So what are some of the reasons that this is?
I actually talked to a psychology professor here, and she said that this is a cultural shift in values, and the millennial generation are the first product of it. Millennial generation has the first showing of it because cultural shifts do take so long. It comes down to that people hate change, and sticking to these old ideas and traditions is something that it's normal, it's comfortable for us. And when I talked to her, she said that seeing these ideas as taboo is so old, but it's just now becoming old. It's just now becoming normal for us to see into the lives of the LGBT community and interracial couples.
Yeah.
They're all becoming humanized because they're characters on sitcoms, they're on our Instagram feeds, they're in our music. We can't avoid these subcultures anymore, and because they're humans, they're people just like us. And people say that we avoid something so much that there is a prejudice against it because we avoid it. We completely exclude something because we're not familiar with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of people say because of these changes that millennials don't value relationships as much or they don't want to get married. So what are some of the reasons that you found are contributing to millennials delaying marriage?
I think millennials definitely value marriage, but they are delaying it because we are the products. The divorce rate is as high as it's ever been, and we are the children of those divorced households and broken homes. And so I think we're not necessarily not valuing marriage, we're just delaying it because we value it maybe more, because we have seen the mistakes in our parents. We've seen that overall we need to value financial stability because personally speaking, my mother was married to my father for 15 years, but was a stay-at-home mom that whole time. So when they did get divorced, she didn't have the tools and the career to financially support herself or us on her own because she never had that provider anymore. And so just seeing that, we've learned that, you know what, when it comes down to it, we as adults need to be able to financially secure ourselves.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's a great example. Thanks, Samantha. So to view these stories and to learn more about the way millennials view relationships, visit ballbearingsmag.com.